New tonight, it's a business with a firm foothold in its community. But after 50 years, its owner fears its days could be numbered. Like other restaurants, Taco Boy in Mount Pleasant had to make some changes to cope with the pandemic.
But TV5's Kendall Keys reports that change runs afoul of a zoning ordinance.
I've been in Mount Pleasant for 50 years. I'm one of the very few small minority-owned businesses left in Mount Pleasant.
Half a century of business, but now Taco Boy's owner says he's fighting to stay in business. The issue, his drive-thru, which he's been using during the pandemic. But the Zoning Board of Appeals says it doesn't meet state requirements.
The conditions necessary under a zoning ordinance, which are consistent with the state law, weren't met to be able to grant that variance.
Owner Robert Balteras says the variance he's seeking comes down to an issue of space.
They require 60 yards, which is over a half a football field. I don't meet that requirement.
Balteras says the drive-thru is what's kept his business afloat for nearly the past 2 years.
That was the only way that I was able to keep every one of my employees employed during this pandemic.
He says he feels like he's being singled out.
There are a lot of other businesses along this avenue that don't meet the 60-foot stacking requirement, but yet they're allowed to operate, and I'm not. And I feel like, as a small business owner, I'm being discriminated against.
Mount Pleasant building official Brian Kench says the drive-thru that Taco Boy inherited when it opened at its current location 14 years ago wasn't grandfathered in.
That use had been abandoned for a period, so any new drive-thru in this case would have to comply with current standards.
Balteras says he's spent nearly $10,000 trying to get his drive-thru up to code. He says he met with planning commissioners today and that they advised him to use delivery apps and said the Zoning Board of Appeals would soon serve him a letter to halt the drive-thru.
Without my drive-thru, it's going to be very hard for me to stay in business.
For WNEM TV5, I'm Kendall Keys.